Hey YouTube, this is VidHead85 here, and I gotta talk to, man, I just saw a picture of, who is it, Lawrence O'Donnell, who was talking about liberals did this and did that. Like they gave us Social Security, they gave us child labor laws, unions. They gave us, like, liberals, the godless liberals did so much for the American people, and yet what did the Republicans and the conservatives of the time do? They opposed us at every turn. They said, no, if you change things from the way they are, everything's just gonna fall to shit. And look, apparently it hasn't. So you know what? The one thing I keep thinking every single day is, how the hell are we surprised when these Republicans get in power and they don't do shit for the American people? All they want to do is say, hey, you know what? The only reason that people aren't having jobs is because the businesses don't have the money to create the positions and the jobs and whatever. But then again, the problem is, Americans, we're seeing an uneven tax code that is designed to keep the people who are poor and downtrodden there, and yet but yet we are subsidizing all these big companies that are paying nothing in taxes every year. So how in the hell are we supposed to, get ahead when in fact, one, we need everything we have to buy, and second, people aren't being taught financial literacy whatsoever. That's another thing. Yes, the reason why a lot of people don't have any money at the end of the month is because, well, one, everything's so expensive, but two, we don't know how to manage money. And if we knew financial literacy, I'm pretty sure that, maybe we'd have a little more bang for our buck. But yes, I believe prices are way too high on everything. And guess what that's designed to do? Yeah. And these Republican legislators are sitting here saying, hey, the people are the problem, the unions are the problem, the poor people are the problem. But then again, if we could expect businesses to do exactly the right thing, why would we need child labor laws? Why would we need regulations? Why would we need anything in order to crack down on these businesses that are doing wrong to people? And in fact, now, you know what? Every time I hear right to work, I think that's a bunch of bullshit, because it's more about the workers being fucked over by these companies because they can set all the terms, they can do whatever they want to, and yet the worker is sitting there saying, hey, wait a minute, I appreciate that I have a job, but you're working me like a Hebrew slave over here. Like, you're working me so much, and I hardly ever have a day off. I work 7 days a week sometimes, 6 days a week some other times, and I don't get enough time to rest. So basically what we're doing is we're working the workforce into the ground. But then again, we believe that a corporation is a person. I'm sorry, corporations don't get worn out because they're working 7 days a week. Corporations don't need to rest rest at least once or twice a week so that they can come back in the next day. I'm sorry, but the Supreme Court really dropped the ball in Citizens United. They didn't even drop the ball. The ball wasn't even in their hand when they wrote that ruling, and now it has unleashed a floodgate of corporate money into politics. And the question is, why do we keep electing these Republican legislators who say, hey, jobs are the number one thing, but then again, when they get into office and they get the majority, all they do is advocate on social issues? At least Democrats do tackle economic issues as well as social issues. And then we sit here and we say, oh, healthcare is too expensive, but we spend much more on our military. We spend much more on the drones that kill people and whatever, but we can't sit over here and say, listen, we're going to take some of that money out and put it in healthcare. And like I said, freeze congressional pay. I'm sick and tired of hearing how much these Congress and the House make every single year, and all these patronage jobs that they give to their family. As far as I'm concerned, we should have a lottery system for that. And what we should do is simply toss them in a computer at random, so that you get whatever staff that you get. Now, of course, it should be within the same party or whatever else, because I would think it pure hell for a Republican legislator to have a social liberal, if you will, working for them, and they're like, you know what, I think the senator's full of shit. You know what, that policy, as far as I'm concerned, this is what their policy is, and I keep telling them that they should vote this way on another thing. So I think it should at least be like within the party or whatever. But then again, I also hear about these people who are saying, hey, we're going to have you sign a pledge to say you're going to vote for us even before you hear our platforms and what we're talking about and whatever, so Democrats can't come and say, hey, look, this is what they're saying, and this is to basically call you out on your bullshit, so that you can, so that one, you lose the election, and two, you can, we can call you out on it because, that's what an election is. So, I don't know. Republicans just piss me off. Needless to say, because I've never spoken this fast in any of my other videos, but really, what the hell? How are we going to think that, how can you think that Obama is the king of big government when Reagan had 273,000 more federal employees? And people keep talking about the legacy of Reagan, and I have to say, he was a good president as far as the charismatic part of it, and he worked with people and stuff in a bipartisan manner, but by and large, it was a Republican agenda that was just, hey, you know what, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to run roughshod over everybody else who doesn't agree with our agenda. And that's all the conservative wing of the Republican Party wants to do. So why the hell are we voting for these fuckers? And I'll tell you why. Because they've mastered language. Instead of big business, they say job creators. Instead of tax cuts, they say tax relief. And when they say tax relief, I'm always wondering, tax relief for who? Because the people are always subsidizing all of this corporate welfare that they're getting. But then again, they want to cut Medicaid and cut social welfare when in fact, there are people out there that need this. And these companies are saying, we don't need this stuff. So if we put all this money that we're subsidizing all these big corporations into, schools, how far would our schools go into, and also we need to get rid of the for-profit prison system. Why? Because they're going to lobby for tougher laws that basically say, hey, we're going to be tougher on minorities. In the suburbs, if they're caught like with 10 milligrams of crack or of coke, we'll let that go and they'll get 2 months in prison. But 2 milligrams of crack, you're going away for 10 years. And then of course, this whole war on drugs. Are you serious? Decriminalize marijuana already, because it doesn't do half the damage as a cigarette does. And good luck outlawing cigarettes, because they're a big cash crop. And anytime New York State needs money, where do they go first? The cigarettes. And in fact, also, what harm has weed ever done? I'm sorry. I used to be opposed to weed because it's a drug and it's illegal. But then again, as I look into like some of the other stuff like heroin, like meth, I'm sitting over here thinking, wait a minute, why the hell are we supposed to have all of this stuff that's illegal? But then again, weed is just, all it does is give you a desire to raid the fridge. And of course it does have medical benefits that people can get with a prescription. And the Obama administration with the DEA, which is the main thing that I really hate about the whole state and federal gap, is the feds are cracking down on some states that have already decriminalized marijuana already. So I'm pretty sure, I say those 16 states that have decriminalized marijuana, sue the damn federal government and say, hey, the federal government should respect states' rights. And it's always funny how Republicans are always saying, hey, states' rights when it comes to marriage bans. But when New York legalized marriage equality between two gay and lesbian couples, the state doesn't have the right to destroy the family. Well, you know what? I'm sick and tired of hearing that, because we are the family, needless to say. So, these Republican batshit fuckeries, conservatives, get on my cotton-picking nerves like I'm, So you know what? Get your ass out there and register to vote, because if you want to talk about, these crackers, and you know what? I hate saying that term because it's just so offensive, because it's not just, white legislators that are doing a lot of harm to America. Come on, Alan Keyes, Herman Cain, case in point, Clarence Thomas. That's all I'll say. The turncoat asses, Barbara Miller Williams, Byron Brown. Yeah, in fact, now that Chris Collins isn't in office anymore, we see a lot less of him. Get your asses out there and vote. The reason why they're passing a lot of voter ID laws is because they're afraid of minority voters. They're afraid that once we get enough of us and enough progressive individuals, that we're going to kick them out of office, which is exactly what we'll do. So you know what? Rate, comment, subscribe. Tell me some of your issues. There are some things that Republicans espouse, at least they say, that I can agree with, but the way that they implement things are not in anybody's best interest but the big business. See you later. Vidhead85. Bye.